As we all know, there are only 3 races: human, pastel color scheme, and robot. This is simply a fact of life. Unfortunately, only one game on planet Earth gets this, that being Destiny 2. If you've played this game for 5 seconds, you're familiar with the 3 races in this game: the human, the Awoken, and the Exo. And all 3 races have incredibly intricate stories. Ha ha ha, just kidding. The humans, we understand their origin story. Why? But in case you, for some reason, need to be caught up on human lore, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was pretty okay, actually, for a while. Anyways, God made Monkey, and then along came Advanced Monkey with frontal lobe, and that didn't go over well. Fast forward a couple thousand years, and God has abandoned us, but oh look, there's a ball around Mars, and uh-oh, that ball caused a universal collapse, and uh-oh, the ball has enslaved us. Oops. So what about the Awoken? Well, remember that universal apocalypse that I talked about? The ball didn't actually technically cause it. It was people chasing after the ball. So soccer. Anyways, so the Awoken get on a ship, and then they go in a time vortex somehow, and then let that blend for 2,000 to 3,000 years, and then boom, purple humans. Pretty easy. Great, so we're all caught up on the lore of the human and Awoken. I don't know why I did that, really just to pad my 10-minute runtime. Of course, there is a ton more to both of these, but, you know, a comedic effect or something. As we know, though, there is a 3rd race in this game, known as the Exo, and Exo lore is just as good and well thought. No, it's not. If you don't know, and literally none of you do because I've never mentioned it, I'm writing a Destiny 2 fanfiction where the main character is an Exo who has gotten reawoken as a guardian and whatever, and no, it isn't one of those fan fictions. If I'll ever release it, I don't know. But regardless, researching how Exos work has been like driving splinters into my eyeballs. If you thought your 9th grade literary analysis teacher was being vague and non-specific, then walk a mile in my boots for the past 2.5 months, because oh my gosh, Exo lore is so muddy, and then everybody on YouTube splits everything up in Exo lore into like 15 videos. So anyways, I'm here to explain to you, the viewer, and only you. We're friends now. This is parasocial, haha. I want a video that just like has all of the Exo lore in one thing, so I'm making this for my own sake and also so I don't go insane. Now, I'll be the first to say, I'm not a huge lore buff. If you wanted a My Name is Bye video, you should have clicked off when I didn't have a British accent. I am stupid, I'm American, and I'm most likely wrong. However, I'm also out of Adderall, so none of those things are gonna stop me. Let's start at the beginning with the origin of the Exo. Now, this is something we actually do know a decent amount on because, well, we've had an entire Clovis Bray themed season, raid, exotic quest, McDouble, and 4 fries and a drink. Anyways, we've had a lot of Clovis Bray content, and it's safe to say that Bungie has quite a number of Clovis Bray simps in their ranks. However, none of them cared to explain how, like any of the Exo, we'll get around to that. The Exo were originally created because Clovis Bray wanted to do dear god anything but die, and so he made a mind uploading technology. Pretty neat, only problem is it kinda sucked. Exos at this point suffered from a thing called billboarding, which is kind of vague and weird. This is where the Exo lore kind of drops off for a minute, but so basically an Exo mind would act like the person uploaded to them, but they wouldn't quite be the same, and or it'd be more robotic. It's kind of hard to explain, but imagine like Pathfinder from Apex Legends, and I think that's along the lines. Anyways, there were also 2 other diseases: disassociative exo mind rejection and sudden exo spontaneous exo reset syndrome, known as DER and SERS respectively. So let's go over the one that we actually have to deal with right now: billboarding. So what is billboarding? Well, I like to think about it like as if you ask them something like, what's your favorite color? And they would say blue, but then you ask them, why is your favorite color blue? Either they wouldn't know, or they wouldn't be able to explain it to you, and or they would just give you a very canned response. Now, there is a cycle known as loop billboard crash, but billboard's the important one, and billboarding is kind of the catch-all term for that entire process. So essentially what would happen is I think you would just repeat something, and then you would billboard, so you just go NPC mode, and then you would crash and the cycle would start over again. So this is like an example of how I think billboarding would work. Mac and cheese, 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 mac and cheese. All right, what's your favorite food? My favorite food is mac and cheese. Okay, why do you like mac and cheese? I have many good memories of it from my childhood. Okay, can you recount any of those memories? I cannot remember. All right, so why'd you say mac and cheese your favorite if you don't have good memories of it? Mac and cheese is my favorite food because I have good memories of it from my childhood. I don't know, something like that. The disease is also conveniently degenerative, so if you start looping, billboarding, and crashing, well, you're most likely not going to stop until you become a jerky mess of limbs and metal. Not very neat, not very poggers, but why is this important? Well, it's the thing that killed Clovis Bray's clone. Yes, he had a clone, Clovis Bray II. Clovis Bray 2, the Electric Boogaloo, was essentially Clovis Bray's really bad attempt at making an IRL me that was perfect in every way. It didn't need to sleep, it didn't have immune system problems. The only problem is that Clovis Bray II was steadily going insane. Oopsie daisies, you made an affront to nature that has paranoid insomnia that he passed down to not so subtly one of his kids named Elsie Bray. Oh, and bonus points, you can't treat any of their insomnia because you gave them perfect immune systems, and so therefore they fight back against any treatment that you try to give them. Yep, all right, they're dead meat. So upload Clovis Bray II to an exomime before they're ready, and uh-oh, it billboarded. Couldn't have seen that one coming. This makes Clovis Bray even more aggressive and crazy than he already was, which traumatizes his granddaughters and leads him to get really, really into finding a cure for dying. Anyways, after some exploration, Clovis finds the K1 artifact. What is the K1 artifact? It's a thing on the moon. All right, that's all you need to know. Anyways, the K1 artifact allowed Clovis to discover clarity, which we know as the darkness. And things kind of went downhill from here. Anyways, as soon as Clovis started researching clarity, he started hearing these goofy voices in his head. And as we all know, if you start hearing voices in your head, you should do exactly what they tell you to do, verbatim. Anyways, the voices lead him to Europa, where he goes exploring around until he finds something known as clarity control, which is really awesome and poggers for him. However, the voices are pretty much taking over his entire body at this point, and he goes insane. So anyways, clarity control is pretty much taken over Clovis entirely at this point. So he kills Vex and then dismantles it and makes a big portal to the Forge Star, which is all where all Vex come from or something. Anyways, he goes into it and then sees the Forge Star and it's like, wow. And then he gets a bunch of radiolaria fluid and comes back. And here we are again. I'm sure that portal won't come back to haunt us later. He probably disabled it or something. So Clovis has an aha moment when he realizes if he passes radiolaria fluid through the darkness clarity, he gets something known as Alkahest, which is really awesome and cool because it cures billboarding. Yay, problem solved, right? Well, the lore doesn't really explain how it cures billboarding, so I'm gonna do it for it. Basically, what happens when an exo either billboards or goes through DER is that the exo is suffering from a lack of internal entropy. DER is just a higher functioning version of billboarding, in my opinion, so I'll get around to that later. From what I can gather from Clovis Bray's logs, Alkahest is a universal solvent. So in the real world, you can't actually totally dissolve something. I'm sorry, high school chemistry lied to you. Anyways, why is Alkahest being good at dissolving things important? Well, because of its exposure to darkness, Alkahest can also dissolve things in your personality and introduce chaos into your being in a way. This pretty much breaks down billboarding entirely, and so nobody has to worry about it anymore for the most part. So yeah, Alkahest breaks down billboarding and personality, adding some randomness into the exo mind, which is actually really good for you. Yeah. Cool. So that problem was fixed, but oopsie daisies, introducing darkness into all exo bodies makes them super sensitive to paracausal influence and messages from the darkness, so oopsies, I guess. At this point, billboarding has pretty much been fixed for all intents and purposes. However, we still have to deal with SERS and DER. We'll start with the easy one, SERS. So SERS, it's sudden exo mind, deletion, is kind of what it says. It's just you reset with no explanation. Now, the most likely explanation for it is that Clovis Bray gave all exos a neuretic immune system, which essentially means that it fights back whenever there's any sort of corruption or whatever inside of it by resetting the exo. So most of the time, Vex infections, like the one that Clovis Bray had suffered from. So if you ever have an information breach, just boop, and you're reset. So don't do that, I guess. And I haven't explained resetting. All right, resets are the little number next to every single robot's name. So, you have Cade 6, so that means he's been reset 6 times, or his memory has been wiped. However, these memory wipes aren't quite wipes. They're more just like buried information. So they're still in your head. It's way too hard to delete them, but you just can't access them. It's like, if you have a river and then there's a house on the other side of the river and there's a bridge, you just burn the bridge. Like, the house is still there, you just can't access it. Exos can still sometimes retain these memories and have some whispers of them, and they can usually retain them up to around reset 20, at which they're pretty much an entirely different person. Humans are considered the 0, the first exo shell is considered the 1, and then every reset or new exo frame after that is 2, 3, so on and so forth. The number and the exo's name are stored in a different part of the brain that's hardwired in. So even if you forget everything else, you'll still be able to remember your name and your number, which, might I add, is just kind of cruel. Why would anyone want to reset? Well, there's a couple reasons, one being DER and one being just becoming an exo in the first place. So when you become an exo, you have to reset. We all know this. However, DER, why do you have to reset? Well, DER is kind of a really frightening disease because, to put it lightly, your brain realizes it's not in the right body and rebels. It's honestly pretty grisly, with exos acting like their heart has stopped beating, they can't breathe, feeling like their skin is rotting inside of an exoshell, like they're stuck inside of the exoshell, like they're being buried alive. It's really nasty, yeah, it's pretty much feeling like you're a corpse, which is honestly really awesome. Yeah, this disease is super cool and I love it, but also exos will start hurting themselves and others if they start suffering from it, which is not ideal, so you want to fix that. So how do you fix it? You reset the exo mind. DER is the exo realizing they're not in the right body, so if you get the brain to forget that they're not in the right body, well, you can at least delay it. DER is an incredible concept for a disease. Too bad we literally never see it in the game. Another way to mitigate DER is to give the exo frame normal human functions like eating, sleeping, pooping, even though, you know, they don't have stomachs or internal systems, and making a baby. Having normal body functions kind of makes the brain not, you know, aware that it's in the wrong body. So if you have functions like making baby, you won't go insane, so thanks, Clovis Bray. Anyways, with most of the exo issues patched, Clovis begins full-on production in the Deepstone Crypt, and this is where the lore starts getting really skippy and sad. We don't really know about how the Deepstone Crypt worked, or how exos were produced, or who even became exos, like at all, but we do know about the Deepstone Crypt dream. I don't think Bungie has their priorities in order. So the Deepstone Crypt is a subroutine, a dream, and a place. Don't get confused on me now. And what is a subroutine? Haha, how dare you ask such a stupid question? I really hate navigating Exo lore. The Deepstone Crypt, the subroutine, not a place, is a program that seeded all Exo consciousnesses, at least that we know of. However, it does come up as a recurring dream, so the dream is the manifestation of the program that's a name of the place. Anyways, the dream is recurring for a lot of exos. The reason for that is the dream itself is pretty simple. You're in a black field and there is a tower in the distance and you walk towards the tower. And yeah, there are two different versions of the dream. One is where you walk peacefully to the tower and make it, and the other one you have to kill all of your loved ones to make it, which is not traumatizing at all. It's generally accepted that the people who go skipping and sing Kumbaya are the ones who were built to experience eternal life and live a peaceful life, and the ones who have to kill all their loved ones and everybody they've ever met, those people are the ones built for war, and war they would experience in the collapse. Finally, we reached the collapse. Many exos died in the Battle of Europa, which is what gained them their numbers. How do they live? Well, it turns out that all exo consciousnesses are saved in these stupid big hard drives on Europa, and you can just go grab them, stick them in a new exo frame, and then say, go fight. And they will, because they're exos and they don't remember anything. Might as well go fight something. This is exactly what happened to Clovis. The timeline's out of order again. Jump back a few years. After fixing all the problems with exoscience, Clovis starts going through it really bad. He gets corrupted by the Vex, who start like fighting all of his organs, and then he goes into surgery to get them all out and replace them with pig organs, which definitely is not a, metaphor. But anyways, he goes to replace all his organs, but the Vex take him over and they vivisect him, which is not nice. But it only, hastens the inevitable of Clovis becoming an exo frame. Also, Elsie at this point has already become an exo, so yeah. During his surgery, though, he had a dream where the Traveler visited him as that weird woman thing that happens occasionally. Anyways, the Traveler was like, oh, you silly goose. All those visions that you had were actually warnings from me, and you're just being stupid, dumb baby, and it's your ego that corrupted it all, which is dumb. Why would you show this guy, the most egotistical person on the entire planet who's obsessed with not dying, how to get the thing that prevents him from dying? It's like going, oh, Timmy, don't break my Lego set. Here it is, right here. Don't break it. Don't touch it. It's right here. Don't touch it. I'm just going to show you where it is, but don't do it. Right before becoming an Exo, however, he separated his consciousness into two parts. One became the Clovis AI, and one got set in an Exo frame, which would become Clovis 1. However, Clovis 1 had his memory wiped, and, you know, like Exos do, he kind of began to resent Clovis AI because Clovis AI was pretty much the exact same thing as Clovis with no memory wipe. To right his wrongs, Clovis, the, you know, Exo frame, actually went into battle to sacrifice his life to protect Europa, and he gets reset so many freaking times, he ends up as a different person, Banshee 44. Yeah, so in the Battle of Eventide, I haven't explained Eventide yet. Eventide is a mono-ethnic society of Exo people that surrounds the Deepstone Crypts. Don't think about it too much, haha, moving on. So the defense of Eventide doesn't go so hot. Clovis AI goes dormant, ton of Exos die, and the ones that survive move to the last city to go Bing Chiling and help set that up. Which is nice and awesome and all. And then also a bunch of the dead Exos end up becoming Guardians later down the line, which is sexy and poggers. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the collapse for the Exo. Conveniently enough, none of them remember the collapse outside of Ada 1. Ada 1 has been reset one time. I don't feel like explaining that. Here she is. That's all you need to know. Nothing really happens in the story of the Exo as a race until Anna and Rasputin are like, hey, we should probably find out where the Deepstone Crypt is, like the real one. And so they go exploring for that. But what's this? A third party, Aramis and her crew, finds it first. And they begin pillaging it. And then one of them turns himself into an Exo known as Atrax. She's an Exo now. And that's, yeah. We get why. So this is aside the fourth party, the third party. And then, yeah, raid known as Deepstone Crypt. You probably should have guessed that one by now. Ironically, we don't actually spend any time outside of security and half of the replication encounter in the Deepstone Crypt. The rest is spent on the Morningstar, which is a Braytech space station that Clovis Bray literally built as a nuke. So if anybody ever broke into the crypt and compromised it, he was just gonna drop the Morningstar on Europa and blow the entire planet up. So yeah. Oh, and guess what the Fallen just did? They just compromised the crypt. So yeah, we have to stop that. Gladly we do. We stop it, the Morningstar falls onto Europa, but not before it pretty much makes the crypt public knowledge to literally everybody in the universe. Clovis Bray gives us this big speech about how, well, you know, you got to defend this from all the forces of the darkness now, because if anybody gets access to this, it could be over for literally everybody. And we're like, up yours, a-hole, we're going to grab some loot. And so we get the loot, kill Taniks, defend him from that at least, and then we're like, all right, awesome, see ya, thanks for the loot, that's great. And so the crypt is just wide open for the world to explore. I'm sure this won't come back to bite us in the butt later. Now, there's kind of a whole season with like Elsie and Anna and Clovis doing their whole family drama thing. So if you want to review that, just go watch the season of the Seraph stuff. It's really good. It's one of the best seasons that's come out. However, that's not really too much for the lore of Exo as much as it is for Rasputin. There was one thing for Exo. There was another Braytech facility that wasn't a bomb that had a dog on it. So Braytech produced dogs. Cool, I guess. And up to now, that's it. That's the story of the Exo from beginning to end, wherever we are now. I hope you enjoyed. I needed an outlet to rant a little bit, and yeah, cool. Anyways, I hope that they flesh out the Exo a little bit instead of Clovis, because Clovis is cool, but I also want to know like how the Deepstone Crypt worked and what the heck the Deepstone Crypt actually is, and I want to actually go explore the Deepstone Crypt outside of 2 freaking encounter rooms. I hope that gets fixed. I still don't know how Clarity Control quite worked. Also, why the Traveler is so dumb. Yeah, Exos are pretty cool. If you want me to do this on any other race or any other topic in the game, I'm more than down to just research something and give you an oversimplified explanation. Other than that, thanks you guys for watching. See ya!
Your time is up.